Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Robbie. It's super nice to meet you. Thank you again so much for giving me this opportunity to talk with you. I know we're super limited on time, so I'll be like as quick as I possibly can. So, just to kind of get into it, three things about me. I have a deep background in sales. I've done a lot of interpersonal selling with ADT and Vivint Smart Home. So, I am really good at setting sales goals and objectives up for myself and my team, and being able to execute on those. The second thing I'd say that kind of sets me apart and makes me a really good candidate is that I have a great background in sales management. So with ADT, I worked there the last 2 years. They actually made me regional manager of Sarasota County. I worked with 5 other reps underneath me, and we just had a really good environment. The third thing kind of about me is that I have a great background in SEO, SEM, and social media management. So prior to all my sales stuff, I owned a company, 19% of one, called Sublimation and Stitch, and they put me in charge of all that stuff along with some others. But yeah, I'll just quickly cover all that stuff. So again, I think that I'm a really good fit for you guys because I know you guys need a good interpersonal seller. I have a really good background with that stuff. So one thing about me, and kind of one thing I'd like to explain, is that I do understand like the process of making a sale. I know a lot of sales reps, probably some that you've even had in the past, they kind of are just so focused on just getting the sale that they kind of just like pitch everything all at once, and they don't really bring their customers politely through a process, right? So it's really important to have like a good understanding about the fact that you need to bring your customers through a process that has them do a series of much smaller jumps before you get to that last jump, which is the close. I see a lot of reps, they kind of just pitch everything they got and then ask for the close. I see that all the time. So I think it's super important. I have a great understanding of something like that. So the second thing that I know is really important to this job position is that I have a great amount of experience as a sales manager. So with ADT, I was a sales manager, and during the 2022 year, we actually won back-to-back months Office of the Region. So that was November and December, and it's kind of wild to me because we literally had an office of 5 guys, and we're going up against people that have like an office of 20. So I think the reason for that, honestly, I know what the reason is. The reason is because we had a great sales environment. So I know that my reps were out there and they were working, right? And I also know that the average rep, whether it was for Vivint or ADT, they just left to their own devices, do not knock or work all the hours. So thankfully we were able to create a really competitive and friendly environment. I wasn't like a dictator or anything like that. They really just genuinely enjoyed selling. So the third kind of thing was, I know it's super important to this position I'm applying for, which is the VP of sales position. It's super important to business development, is obviously that background in SEO, SEM, and social media. So with that being said, I used to own a company called Sublimation and Stitch, and I own 19% of it. And they kind of put me in charge of stuff like that. So I was able to take $2,700 worth of ad spend. It wasn't the biggest company in the world, but I was able to quadruple it into just under $1,100. So I only did it for 6 months, but I do have a really good understanding of the foundation of it, and obviously that stuff changes quite frequently, and I'm very confident that I can learn it like pretty quickly. So with all that being said, I'm a firm believer in that the proof is kind of in the numbers, right? So 2019, that's when I started my interpersonal selling with Vivint. I did $226,000 in 4 months, and then in 2020, I did $616,000. That was over the course of a full year. In 2021, I applied for that position at ADT, and I was the regional sales manager for Sarasota. And we did $4.4 million as an office with 4 guys, and then in 2022, we did $5.1 million as an office with 5 guys. So that's kind of it briefly, all about me. I just do have 3 quick questions for you. So I noticed that you guys work with a lot of companies in Salt Lake City. I used to work for a company called Vivint, like I said. based out of Salt Lake. I saw you guys work with Kizik and Chirp. I mean, is that something you guys have like a lot of connections with? Because I actually do know some people over there. Cool. And then the second question is that what are some of the problems that you had with like your last VP of sales, like the last person that was applying for my position, you know, and why didn't that person work out? And then my third question is I looked on your guys' website and I noticed that you guys do a lot of brand advertising for companies. Like I saw it for CrowdStrike, and you guys weren't focusing that much on direct response. You know, kind of why is that? So that's it for me. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.